pretty well covers it. Saddling. I saddle them, like you seen, I saddle them not tied up, loose. You can saddle them tied. I just prefer for the first while, I'll do it for 3 or 4 months, to saddle them while they're loose in case they move around. And I'll show you what to do here if they would happen to move around. Let me grab the leader open. If they're tied, it's really hard to teach them anything. You can't really school them if they do something wrong. So to me, I like to see these youngsters. There she comes forward, so I'm just going to back her up. Bring her forward. Oops. Ask her to stop. Now she's going to move her feet just the way she's standing. She ain't squared up. I'm just going to push her back to square her up a little bit. And I'm going to keep this lead rope tucked in my elbow. Now if she does anything, if she moves or goes to walk off, we're going to back her up. And then we're going to pull her forward, we're going to set her up again, we're going to say whoa, and then just let her make the mistake again. So now when you're taking the bit off, unbuckle. It's your left hand or right hand, whichever side you want to stand on. I'm a righty, so I stand on this side. Put one hand over the bridge of the nose. Take your other hand, take it off on the pole, take it off their ears. And then as soon as their head is vertical and they'll open their mouth, let them spit it out. Now that was a little quick. When you put it on, see if you take it again here. Put one hand between her ears. Take your other hand, grab hold of the bit. You're going to shove a thumb in her mouth to get her to open up. When she opens up, slip it in, and you're on. We're going to take it off again. You got to drop her head down, let her spit it out. That was a lot better. Take your time when you're taking the bit off and on. You don't want to hit their teeth, if at all possible. There she moved. I'm going to wiggle the rope. I'll back her up. I'll bring her back forward again. Ooh. Ask her to stop. That's the way we school them, to stand still when we're saddling and unsaddling. We want to make sure that she knows when we put her someplace to stay still and not be moving around. And that's hard to do. Well, it's pretty much impossible to do if they're tied. And sometimes you run into a situation where you don't have any place to tie. So it's a good thing for them to learn right off the bat. I think that pretty much wraps up everything that I can think of. Ready?
Yipper, we're on.
Alrighty. I got a different bit in totally. You can ride him in a 4.5 inch snaffle, like I had any when you were up here riding. This bit is a miler. It's 4.5 inch combination bit. It's got a nose band on it. I'll show it to you when I pull it out of his mouth. It does a better job of correcting him when he wants to put his head up and take that bit. It's a little easier to bring him back down. You could either use this one, the 4.5 inch snap, where you could use a 4.5 inch down thumb with like 2 inch shanks on it. It'd give you enough leverage to make it easier to bring his head back down and correct him. This is a good bit to use until he gets over that problem, and then you can put him back in the snapple bit, or you could just ride him in this for the rest of his life. That'd be up to you. When you get on him, you can just tip his head, and you do the buckskin. Get on him. him when he gives to you. And we're gonna do a couple neck bends. Pull, he gives, you give. When he pushes his nose off like that, you wanna just let him hit that bit. Pick up that rein and let him hit it. And we'll see if he'll do it again right there. I just picked up the bit quick and let him run into it. And we'll see if he'll do it again. He does it more coming from right to left. He didn't do it there. All right, there he moved. I'm just gonna let him. I'm gonna hang on to the rein. I got to take it right to my hip pocket until he stops his feet and gives his head. He did, I released him. Now I'm going to walk him off. You'll notice I have just regular leather reins on him now, and no slobber straps. You're still going to want to ride on a loose rein with him. But him, it's easier for him if you keep him between your hands. So you can keep him on a loose rein and not be in his mouth, but at the same time it's easier if you kind of guide him a little more than what you have to guide the buckskin. When you want to move forward with him, just squeeze. So I'm going to stop him here and show you. Okay, you want to go forward, just squeeze. You can give him a little smooch, he'll step forward. I'm going to guide him a little bit. He still does not like that side of the barn for one reason or another. Now the big thing with him, when you're out riding him, if he sees something that scares him, you're just going to, like here, I'm going to keep his head facing it. I'm going to turn him to it. Make him look at it. Then we're going to go on. You want to make sure he faces whatever he's scared of. You don't want him turning from it and running from it. And he's got a pretty good concept of facing things when he's scared of them, because that's what I do with him. Now I'm going to ask him to trot, so I'm just going to squeeze, push him up into a trot. And you notice he's on a loose rein, but I'm guiding more than I do with the buckskin here. And that's just, he needs that. So I'm going to turn him, pick up on the left rein, put on the right foot, go the other way. Turn him again, I want to pick up on the right rein, put the left leg on him, turn him the other way. I'm going to put right rein, left leg, bring him right around. As soon as he turns, release him. Big thing with him is releasing him. You don't want to hang on to him all the time, or you're going to make him really pushy and heavy in the bit. So left rein, right leg. Alright, I'm going to ask you to pick up the canter. If he comes around here. He's got a pretty lofty canter, a lofty lobe. He likes to fish that head sometimes. So I'm just going to keep him moving until he quits. Like that. That's nice. I'll bring him back down. Keep the trot going. He is very light with this bit. A lot lighter wider than he is with the snaffle. There's just, with this bit, there are 4 different places where he's getting pressure from. From the pole, the nose, the chin, and the mouth. So it's a lot easier to keep a horse light. It's just more points to make contact to communicate with him. Now we stop him, it's going to be just like the buckskin mare. You're just going to sit down a little bit, whoop. He drops his head immediately. He'll come right off that bit. You release. You want to back him up, you're going to pick up on them reins a little bit. Squeeze with your legs, release. Pick up on the reins, squeeze with your legs, release. Pick up, squeeze, release. Now the only reason we're releasing is because he's moving backwards and he's coming off of the bit. If he wasn't coming off the bit or moving backwards, either one of the two, then we're not going to release him. Alright, now this guy's starting to side pass, which he wasn't doing that good before, so what I do now at the point he's at, he will side pass from a dead standstill. But there's no point setting him up to fail because he may not do it. He usually will, but he might not. So what you do is just get him moving, get him walking, and you're going to see I'm going to pick up on the reins to keep him from going forward, and I'm going to take my left leg, put it up into his body, push him sideways and release. As soon as he's not doing it real fast, but he's coming off your leg. Now the fresher he is, the quicker he does it too. Now we're going to do it to the left, so I'm going to put my right leg on him, and come on and then release. The big thing is if we're going to the left, you're going to put your right leg on, take your left leg off. If you're going to the right, you're going to put your left leg on, take your right leg off. You got to give him that room to move his body into. So now we're going to go to the left, right leg's on, left leg's off. And I'm just going to pick him, I don't want to pick up on the bit so much, I stop him. I just want to pick up on the bit enough to deter forward motion and let him push to the side. Now he's not perfect, but he's getting started doing it. So, one thing I recommend, don't side pass him or push him to the side over and over and over and over again until he gets so darn tired of it he doesn't want to do it. I only do it a couple times every time I ride him. And as long as he does it nice, I just let it go. I walk away from it. He gets better and better every day. So, you know, there's always tomorrow. There's no point in trying to make him perfect in one day. Every time I turn him, I'm going to put a leg on him up further. Okay? So when I ask him to turn to the right, can you get my leg?
I'm getting it.
This leg here, I'm going to be putting it up by the front cinch. So we're going to pick up on the right rein and push up by that front cinch. Okay? Now when we push him off the leg, and we're pushing the rib cage off our leg, I'm going to bring him this way. And I want you to watch my right leg. It's going to be more toward the middle of his body, and I'm going to use my heel to push in, right like that. You get that?
I did.
Okay. That's the way we're going to push him off of our leg to move him sideways. The more distinct we can make that difference for the horse, the easier it is for him to understand what we're asking. And then as he gets better and better, then you can refine it and fine tune it, and you don't have to, you know, as big of a movement as far as putting your leg on him, taking it off of him. It's not that big a deal because you'll know what you're asking.